Hi everyone, we're Fran and John, the corporate breakout couple. We retired from the corporate rat race for 3 years now, and retirement is actually the new beginning. The new way of retirement is actually not what people think. People think that retirement is the start of winding down the rest of your life. You corner yourself into a fixed income which then dictates a fixed and rigid retirement lifestyle. In this scenario, aren't you essentially just waiting for the clock to run down your life until you depart this world?
In this video, we'll share with you 3 reasons why people don't dare to consider early retirement. Before we continue, do hit the like button and subscribe to join our YouTube family.
Recently, we did a series of videos on YouTube Shorts and TikTok which talks about why early retirement isn't so common, and it garnered a lot of views and a lot of comments. So this video is a more in-depth one as we can make longer form videos on YouTube. Number 1, following the herd. Most people rather be the sheep than be the shepherd. Why? Because it is easier. It is so much easier to clock in, do your job, clock out and spend your salary, and then repeat for the next 40 years. However, is this what you really want? Are you truly fulfilled in your life? Or do you go home each night knowing that there's a void within you? Early retirement is taking the path least traveled. It can be scary and full of uncertainty, but on the flip side, it can be extremely liberating, fulfilling, and rewarding. Time freedom is actually what everybody wants, but don't know it. Time freedom is the freedom to do whatever you want, whenever you want. Like us, we're currently here in Jeju for 1 week after spending 2 weeks in Seoul, and we're taking it nice and easy in Jeju. As a former sheep herded by the shepherd, John and I, there was no way we could have spent 3 whole weeks in South Korea because annual leave was scarce, and we would not also want to spend our entire annual leave on a single country. Number 2, loss of identity. Usually when you meet someone new for the first time, you usually introduce yourself by your name. And if they ask you what you do for a living, usually people will answer, oh, I'm an accountant, I'm an engineer, I'm a sales manager, I'm a director in XYZ company. Very rarely will someone say, I work as an accountant, my job is in accountancy. What I do for work is I handle the accounts for company XYZ. Nobody says that, right? No, usually they merge their job title to who they are. So if you're an accountant and you identify as an accountant for 40 years of your life, and then one day you retire and you're no longer an accountant, then who are you? This is one of the key reasons why people who are retired, especially the traditional route, they choose to go back to work. Of course, they'll tell you they're bored at home, nothing to do, so might as well go back to work to earn some extra income, right? Yes, that might be true, but it's usually secondary. The truth is, the loss of identity is so overwhelming and scary that all they want to do is run back to their comfort zone as an employee, to seek safety in their identity as an employee. How do I know this? Well, when we first got early retired, when we meet new people or we bump into acquaintances, usually they'll ask us, hey, so where are you now? As in job-wise, or what are you doing now? Also job-wise. Initially, it was uncomfortable for us to answer that we're early retired. Why? Because for the last 15 to 17 years in the workforce, we're so accustomed to answering, oh, I'm now in this company, I'm doing sales in XYZ, and so forth. It took a lot of practice to share with people that we no longer work in corporate and in fact we're early retired. Someone close to me took early retirement when she was in her mid to late 50s. Barely a year into retirement, she went back to work for a large MNC for a few years. Then she retired for the second time, but she unretired yet again soon after and took on another role. It was only after we had an in-depth discussion that she realized that this was her comfort zone. She certainly did not need to rely on a job for money. It was a nice to have, but it wasn't a necessity. She also wasn't bored at home. She had lots of social activities and friends. She had been a high-flying corporate person for so long that it became who she was, and that was her comfort zone. Number 3, you must amass a huge fortune in order to retire early. This very thought is the reason why we keep working like slaves for the company. Saving for retirement is like a love-hate relationship. You know you need to save for retirement, but yet there's a certain procrastination towards it because the end goal seems so far away. The name of the game is passive income. Creating passive income to replace your active income is how you can afford to retire early. We've interviewed quite a number of people in our series, Ordinary People with Extraordinary Stories, and none of them have amassed a huge fortune and yet they can still early retire. So we need to set aside this belief that we need millions of dollars first. And because we think we need millions of dollars and it's such a daunting amount, subconsciously we delay and procrastinate saving for retirement. Instead, what do? We spend on a bigger house, a nicer car, expensive meals, and holidays.
Early retirement actually starts with a plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. When you do plan, sometimes you exceed the plan. In our case, we came up with an early retirement plan in 2016 and we plan to retire by 2025, which makes us 45 years old. However, we managed to retire in less than 5 years by 2020, and that is because we persevered and committed to our plan and kept going. We recently finished one of the Netflix series on David Beckham, which was a very inspiring documentary. Well, if you know David Beckham, he was a professional football player both for Manchester United for a long time as well for England where he was the English captain. For someone as successful as him, he did have a comfort zone by staying in Manchester United for more than 10 years. And because he had a falling out with the manager, the club decided to sell him to Barcelona without asking him. So, when he was forced out of his club to join Barcelona, did he simply accept his fate? He knew that by joining one of the best clubs in the world, his own personal brand and Real Madrid's brand will only hyper-accelerate his growth. He knew that he wasn't just a football player, but actually a global brand. And after he retired as a professional football player, which was his occupation, did he just sit around and do nothing? Or did he continue to build his brand and also invest in a football club? Because he continues to grow as a person, he continues to attract big names and celebrities to collaborate and work with him, such as Lionel Messi, one of the best players in the world, in his current club, Inter Miami. We hope this video has given you some food for thought and inspire you to keep pushing the envelope in your life. Life is too short to simply settle. Do hit the like button to this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel to join our YouTube family. See you soon!